So June 2006, we've got here partial fractions. That's what we've been asked to express this as. So what you need to notice on the bottom here, all right, is that we've got what we call a repeated factor. Okay, so the power 2, okay, obviously means squared, and we call it a repeated factor. So we need to be careful how we set this out there in partial fractions. So started doing it, a over x minus 2. Notice I don't put squared there, right? I just write it as a over x minus 2 plus then b over x minus 2 all squared. Okay, that's how you deal with a repeated factor. You first of all write it over the bracket and then over the bracket squared. You have to have that. Plus then c over x plus 4. Okay, the remaining bracket. Now what we do then is, right, we times through by what's on the bottom here. Okay, because if I times through by what's on the bottom here, it will sort of eliminate on the left hand side here, it will eliminate this and I'll just be left with 2x squared plus 4. So the way of thinking about it, you could think about it this way. You could think, right, I've got 2x squared plus 4 and take what's on the bottom here over to the other side and multiply. So you could think of it that way. Okay? So you could do it this way. So I hope you can understand this way, this approach, which is different to the way we looked at it in class. You could think, right, what's on the bottom here, take it over the other side and multiply. Okay? Yeah? And multiply each term then by what's on the bottom here. So that's what you do. When you take it over, you do the opposite in times. So we've got then 2x squared plus 4 over here. And then we'll multiply each term then by this. So I'll have a over x minus 2 times x minus 2 all squared x plus 4 plus then b over x minus 2 all squared times x minus 2 all squared x plus 4, and then I think I'm going to write a room, so I'll write it underneath, plus then c over x plus 4 times x minus 2 all squared x plus 4. Alright, so what you'll find then is that we'll have things cancelling. That x minus 2 will cancel with that squared. That x minus 2 squared will cancel with that x minus 2 squared, and the x plus 4 will divide, yeah, but the x plus 4 there, they'll cancel. So we end up having 2x squared plus 4 equals a x minus 2 x plus 4 plus b x plus 4 plus c x minus 2 all squared. Okay, and then we're done to a certain extent. But now we need to determine what a, b and c are. Okay, so all the algebra work has been done, and to do that we'll set x to be a certain value. Now the most sensible value to start with, I'd say, is set x to equal 2, because what you'll find is if you set x to equal 2, that will become 0, won't it? 2 take away 2 is 0. That will become 6, but that doesn't matter, because if you've got 0 here, a times 0 times 6 is just 0, so it goes. That will become 6 in there. And of course 2 take away 2 there, that'll be 0, and squared is still 0, so that will go. So put 2 in, I get 2 times 2 squared plus 4, and then that goes, that becomes 6b, and that goes as well. So work this out on your calculator. You get 12 equals 6b, so that implies then that b is 12 divided by 6, which is 2. Okay, so we've got b out. Next thing then, we need to try and work out what a and c is. So another value to set x, which will eliminate, is if I set x to be minus 4. Because if you think about it, minus 4 plus 4 is 0. So that will go. If I put minus 4 there, that will go. So it will just be left with that. So put minus 4 in there. And then, as I said, that goes. Put minus 4 in there, you get minus 6 in that bracket, won't you? Course squared. So work that out on your calculator. That's 36. That becomes 36 as well. You square negative is a plus, isn't it? So that means c has got to equal 1. Alright? And then finally then to get a, okay, to get a, well, there's no other value you can set x to be, so that they eliminate. So I'm going to just choose a different value for x this time. You can choose any value, but the most sensible one to go for is 0. Because if you do that, there's less work to do. So if you put x is 0 there, that becomes just 4. Put 0 in there, that becomes minus 2. Put 0 in there, that becomes 4. So I'll have a minus 2 in that bracket, minus 4 in, 4 in that bracket, plus B, 0 plus 4 is 4, plus C, 0 minus 2 will be minus 2, and then you've got to square it. So then on the next line, well, we've got 4 equals minus 2 times 4 is minus 8, so it'll be minus 8a. B, and of course B is 2, isn't it? So 2 times 4 is 8. And then C is 1, so it'll be 1 times this, which will just be 4. What's nice then is that 4 cancels with this 4, and you end up having 8a equals 8, which implies that a is equal to 1. Alright, so just to finish off your first part of the question to get your 4 marks, you then need to go back to the top line here and rewrite this so that you've got 2x squared plus 4 over x minus 2 all squared, x plus 4, and then you put in your values of a. I can't even remember what it is now. A is 1, B is 2, C is 1. So A is 1, B is 2, and C is 1. And you've done your part A.